All right. Hello, you beautiful traders. Today, I had a friend ask me a question about shorting Tesla. I figured that this would be a great opportunity to analyze a stock that is very followed by many people. And maybe you're in a trade, maybe you've been wanting to get in for a while, like myself. Maybe you're thinking of shorting, like hey, my friend that asked the question. So let's analyze this from a technical analysis perspective and see what could be a better option. Again, this is not trading advice, it's for educational purposes. Perhaps you've already followed Tesla for a while based on many fundamentals or the stories, or because of Elon Musk or their potential to come up with robots and change the world. There's so much going on for it. Whatever the reason, I believe it's always good to just take a look at the charts. Let's take a look at what price is actually telling us, regardless of all the opinions are simply plotted here on the price action. You have to remember that these candlesticks basically are showing us the ultimate actual decision of somebody buying or selling their shares at certain prices and certain quantities of people doing so at different points in time. So whatever decisions are out there and posts and everything in between and news, it all comes to the price chart. Where is price at and where is it going? Here it also allows us to quickly just plot our first pivot points on a monthly zone, really high up, right? And if we were to expand this into two areas, just like that, because we cannot be so exact that it was gonna just reach that exact line, right? There's a range around it, and there's already seller pressure that will start coming through, perhaps in that point. But I understand why my friend will want to think of a short possibility here. That being said, on the other side, we could go with a pivot all the way down here. And again, yeah, let's grab this week. Why not? This is in an area I was talking about dragonfly formation, which sometimes it happens on these turning points, and sometimes they happen followed by higher volume. This is not one of those cases where there's a lot of volume there, and sometimes with confirmation right after. So you helps you identify those points where prices may be turning around. I'm just gonna grab this last week. We call this a wick or the shadow below the body of the candlestick. All right. So now I'm just defining some playing field where the stock has been for a while and what it has gone to in the higher end. Now that could help me sometimes to make quick decisions like, okay, here is expensive and here is cheap. I want to buy when prices are lower, right? So that it's a simple way of looking at things simply by quickly looking at a chart where prices have been. You could be doing this with anything actually. You could go with the grocery store, and if you were to track those prices, you could put, hey, you could see the price changing during the promotional periods and how there will be volume of people buying at those promotional periods, and therefore why stores do it. So everything that can be plotted on a chart, we could see the actual data and implications of it. Now let's go into the weekly. And the weekly, we definitely see a short-term view picture here of an uptrend that has been going on. And let's just mark this point here, January 2023. Longer than that, as we saw the chart earlier. Let's identify here also these prior pivot points where, if you see, it knocked it down here, then it tried to pass it again here, it couldn't. So remember, sometimes old resistant could become new support. So that could tell me that if the stock were to fall at some point, I will be considering that something could happen here. We don't know if it will. There's just higher probabilities. We need to learn to look at this in terms and trading, and perhaps a lot of things in life, by the way, in terms of probabilities, or what are the odds of something happening. We never know 100% sure of anything, and that's why we just take informed decisions, and they're informed bets where you have limited losses and a potentially for a high reward every time you take them. Now, another thing before we move into the daily, I want to point out is simply the uptrend. If we were to plot a line here, it looks like this. That could also tell me that, even if this were to retrace because of the selling pressure coming on in this prior high that Tesla had, let's say here, if there was some seller pressure coming on, it could bounce somewhere over here and still maintain that uptrend on a weekly perspective. Now let's now dive into the daily. By the way, sorry about this. Before moving on, I also think that it's worth mentioning how strong that candle closed during the week. This is as strong, like not as strong as this one here, but if you notice, it's still almost a full body of just purchasing. Meaning, when it opened on Monday at the beginning of the week around 351, and it's been rallying, 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 rallying all week to close right now at the 389 mark, and post market still even just jump, doesn't matter too much right now unless it's a significant post market and we see some news coming through, but I'm not expecting that. The point being that this is a very strong close. Even though it's coming into an area where there was a prior high, it looks like it just wants to cut through it. That's the initial impression a candle like that should give you. Let's compare that, and just for educational purposes, let's just choose I don't know, a candle like this one over here. I'm gonna try to make this bigger. Bear with me. Now let's look at this candle over here on February 6th. Just because you notice how it's not as strong as the green one, all the way closing the full body on the top. So that also shows just the price when at some point that day, or sorry, that week, it got over here at 216, and only to later in the week sellers coming back and pushing, 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 and closing it here. So now you see some seller action just by looking at this candle. As it moves forward, you notice that this develops into an actual decline a few weeks later and selling. That being said, you notice here another change of direction, right? On what's that happening. So that's why I'm a big fan of those doji candles at the right places, in the right locations. And it's simply another tool in our arsenal to try to take a more informed decision. Again, we're stacking probabilities. Okay, now we're good to go into our daily. It's a very strong uptrend. The story is just significant gaps. Obviously there was a lot of that driven by Donald Trump and Elon Musk being part of that, and the potential benefits that Musk can get from being involved in politics. Regardless of that, the chart is simply showing us a lot of strength, lots of buyers. And the day today, Friday, December 6th, same thing. The price jumps up, and all day basically was just rallying up, and it closed on the highest highs for the day, which is simply showing a lot of strength. That doesn't mean that it could still have enough room here to turn around. So we'll have to see the activity that it takes on Monday. uh, I'm not so keen on taking even though this is the upper limit, and there's a good possibility for a pullback here. I'm not super keen on taking a short simply because of how strong all this has been. The question is, is it done yet? This rally kind of is the kind of questions that we face each other with. How high? How much more can it go? Um, a good way that we could try to figure this out, or again, we don't know the answers, but let's just have an informed decision or analysis on the matter. And we could do this in two ways. So let me just take this off. I'll take this off. And into the weekly here, one of the things that we could try to do to see how much steam this could have to continue is trace back where the movement started. So this movement started right around here, what we could call this area where, again, it was acting as support, or my bad, resistance. It blows through it. So maybe it could also become support. But if that was happening as well, we try to mark where was the last low. And this is now something that I don't use often. I'm just simply trying to offer some sort of solution to what some technical analysts will draw as a rallying action, followed by some basing action like this that could last for a while. There's a lot of theories out there of how long this could last. But at some point, it leaving this and rallying supposedly. There's a lot of traders that are amazing and have done more calculations than me on this. I don't use this as much, but as it rallies, is the same distance that it took to get to that point. So if this is the base, the our leg into these levels, and from here we extrapolate the next level of what it can rally, I will also place it right where we are getting to the prior highs. So that increases the odds of a potential short here as well. That being said, it's a risky bet, so we want to ensure that we try to get the most out of a short like this. Let's see what this will look like if we say that we have a target for a short. Remember, we have two lines here where we could be getting to, where we could find some opposing forces. So this could be one of them, and this could be a second one of them. Target one, target two, let's say. So we're aiming and we're saying that we could get back to the 300. 300 is a beautiful number. It's just a rounded number. It could be psychological. So yeah, why not? That could be a good target. Now, if we wanted to take a short, then our short will be looking right now in a weekly, because we don't know where this will be turning around. It's already at least offering us a 2.5. It's on the lower end of what I like, so we could definitely refine this. Now, to do that, what I will definitely say is we need to not get in front of that rocket and jumping in, um, because it's going with steam. And what we want to see maybe is some kind of formations happening Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I don't know, anytime next week around here that will give us certain clue that this will want to turn around. If that were to happen, it could offer us an opportunity somewhere in between this range of like, and again, keeping the stop loss on top always, because if we're wrong, and that's our risk. Fine, we learn. And in fact, this is part of the game. Like, you're gonna have losers, you're gonna have winners. The idea is that your winners are a lot bigger than your losers. So here we're gonna expand our target if we were to take something like that. This is to be refined obviously when this activity happens, so we could always follow up next week on seeing the activity on Tesla here. But now offering us a 6 to 1, and with a potential target two of 8 to 1. This trade may also never happen if this just blows through this like that next week. I don't think that it would be wise to get in front of the rock and just wait for it to continue until it stops. I would rather be looking in the long term to buy Tesla way when it pulls back. And if it does pull back, I will definitely will be interested in looking at something over here at the 340. Simply because in the 300 I wouldn't dare to buy as much. There's nothing in between here in this candle showing me that they could stop right there, maybe in this level here, just because it's the beginning of the gap from that day, and it so happens that the moving average is coming through as well there, so that gives a little bit more importance to that area. So I think that a buy here in the future could also play out for a long-term trader to initiate a position here. With that being said, I think that I'm spending way over 10 minutes I wanted to allocate, but I hope you make some good decisions out of this. I'm going to let you guys go. Happy trades, green trades for you all. Oh, and don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Sorry, guys, I'm new at this. I'm trying my best. If you have any feedback, suggestions, comments, questions, I will truly appreciate them all. I'm just somebody that wants to share this knowledge and help you guys to make better informed decisions with a little bit of extra knowledge. I hope that's serving its purpose. Green trades, everybody. Cheers.